Welcome to the United Methodist Student Day podcast. We're counting down to the last Sunday of November, so together we can empower students who will make a difference around the world. Thanks for joining us and for supporting the next generation.
Well, hi there. My name's Rich Birch. I'm the host here at the United Methodist Student Day podcast. Super excited today to have a student joining us, a freshman, Reeve Segrest. Reeve, welcome to the show today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, we're so glad you've taken some time out. I know it's a busy time as a student, so I appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time today. Reeve, why don't you tell us about the school you're going to, give us a bit of your background. Who is Reeve?
Well, I'm Reeve Segrest, and I'm going to Spring Arbor University right now. It's a free Methodist college. It's very direct with its biblical principles, and I really enjoy the tight community of Christians that they've made here. Cool. When I was in high school and in middle school and through my whole childhood, I went to North Lake United Methodist Church. It's near Chelsea.
Nice.
And yeah.
Cool. And what are you studying?
Right now, I'm a biblical studies major with a minor in vocal music.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool. That's a fun thing to be studying. Why did you pick the school you're at? What's so great about it? Why that one?
Well, part of it was because I had a lot of connections here. There was a lot of people that I knew. Another part was that it was far enough away from home that my parents wouldn't come every 5 seconds, but close enough that I could come back every once in a while.
Right. Nice. Very cool. Well, now let's talk about, we're obviously here talking about United Methodist Student Day. Want to know, how did you hear about the United Methodist Student Day Scholarship? How did you hear about this program?
Well, my home church back at North Lake United Methodist, they do the United Methodist Student Day giving every year. And I kind of heard about it through that, looking for scholarships for getting into school, and just went into some research after actually participating in giving to that day. So
yeah, that's very cool. Well, that's fun, and that's obviously it's helped the school kick off to school this this year, which is a great thing. So why don't we talk a little bit about your upbringing? So you've been a part of the United Methodist Church. Has that been kind of your whole life? Tell us a bit about your upbringing and your career choice, and how did kind of your United Methodist background impact that?
Yeah, well, I've been a United Methodist my whole life. I grew up in the United Methodist Church that I have been at for the past 18 years, and they've really done a lot for me and when I was growing up in school to support me through those tough times, especially middle school. And moments both in the church and in the high school where I get to sit down and talk to people about their faith and about the United Methodist Church has really helped me with my faith and talking to other people. And that in combination with some leadership skills that I believe that I have and that other people have told me, and a calling that I felt through much prayer, I decided that I wanted to go to school to become a pastor.
Nice. Well, that's a huge calling, and that's fantastic. I'm just encourage you that you're taking that step. That's fantastic. Well, so I know we're not that far into school so far, but what's been a memorable experience? Maybe tell us, as a freshman, what was that like when you first arrived at school? What was that experience like for you?
Well, they have a lot of tents already set up for new students, so they made it really easy for us. But
very cool.
It was a lot of different emotions all at once. The fear and excitement of going to a new place, and just the joy of doing something for God, but also that bittersweet feeling of leaving your parents for the first time. I mean, going back from school every day and just going home, and that doesn't happen anymore. So it was very mixed.
Very cool. Okay. Do they do kind of, I know a lot of schools will do kind of, freshman orientation stuff. That's a lot of fun. Were there any highlights in that was, kind of a fun kickoff to your school year this year? Yeah,
they do. Spring Arbor does a 3-day student orientation.
Okay.
And that was quite fun. Actually, during the second day, we had a field day with the floor that we live in.
Okay. Yep.
And I actually ended up hurting my shoulder a little bit at that time. A little bit of a sprain, had to be in the sling for about 4 days.
Oh gosh, what were you doing? Some kind of crazy thing?
Yeah, we were playing a game where we were leaping from 2x4s that we were putting down on the field, and I ran out of 2x4s at the end, so I did one last big leap and just landed on my shoulder into the ground.
Oh gosh, wow! But you're all better now, I can see. So that's
Yep.
That's a good thing for sure. Nice, cool. Well, why would you say now there'd be a lot of church leaders listening in? What would you say to church leaders out there today that are thinking, I'm not sure I really want to do this, United Methodist Student Day deal? What would you say to them as a student on the receiving end?
Well, as a student, it gives you a lot of opportunities to go out there and do something with your life. Mm-hmm. And especially those who have callings and you don't necessarily have the kind of money that it takes to go and pursue those callings. Mm-hmm. And so having support from United Methodist Student Day and the giving of all the United Methodists around to go and pursue that, either pastoral ministry or youth ministry or all your different future ministers are really benefiting from this program.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Fantastic. Now, what about on the other side? So what would you say to a student who's, they're maybe thinking about, pursuing some, education and they're not sure whether they should apply or, is it worth going through the hassle, the application process and, doing all that, having all those conversations and, making all that happen? Tell us about what that experience was like.
Well, that experience for me was quite easy, especially going through all the other different scholarships. In relation, United Methodist Student Day is a lot easier to get into and to just kind of keep in touch with what you're doing with their money. And it's been really easy to deal with, especially having all the other scholarships. Even the school scholarship was quite a challenge in comparison.
Right. Well, that's good to hear. That's good for students to know who are out there today thinking, whether I should be, part of it. That's nice to hear too. I think from churches who are from people who are giving to Student Day to know like, hey, this isn't super onerous, right? It's not the kind of thing that we're trying to make it really difficult for people who want to benefit from these gifts. People are giving it to it freely, and we just hope that it'll bless people like yourself. Freely. All right, just two more questions, Reeve. So what would you say, this is your chance to sell Spring Arbor, what would you say to, other students who, this is, this time of year, people, right, this, high school students are thinking about it, they're trying to think about other, places they could go to. Why would you say they should think about coming to Spring Arbor?
Well, I think that Spring Arbor, if it has what you need for a major, is one of the greatest choices you can have. It's got a very small and close-knit community, while at the same time actually having all those resources you need to get ahead in the field that whatever you're doing. So it's really nice to have that balance of just big enough, but just small enough that you can still get in with a group and still have a lot of fun.
Very cool. All right. Well, anything else you'd love to say to people who might be listening in today, about Student Day or about your experience so far?
Support Student Day, and it really does help us out. It's without support from all of our people in the church, and we couldn't do the stuff that we did, and we couldn't go down the paths that God is leading us. So thank you for all your help.
Nice. Thank you, Reeve. Thanks so much. Best wishes this year as you're plugging away, and just, blessings on you for going into ministry and for pursuing studies. All the best. Have you started Greek yet? Does that start in freshman year?
No, that's a junior, senior year thing.
Okay. So you've got a couple years to warm up for that. So that'll be, that'll be good. So great. Well, thanks so much, Reeve. Thanks for being on the show today.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
You too.
Thank you for joining us for the United Methodist Student Day podcast. We want your church to join us for this special Sunday that supports our next generation of leaders. Drop by umcgiving.org for more information on how to get involved.